Happy New Year! Hey everybody, welcome to a New Year episode of
Talkin' Shit.
And I'm your host, Prodigy Q.
And I'm your other host, Amanda. And this is our canine host, Teddy. Look at the camera, Ted. Look at here. I know how to get him to look at the camera. Y'all on YouTube can see. There we go.
He's ready
so
for
cute.
a Happy New Year as well.
I started bringing treats, so maybe he'll continue to be with us because of that. So
right. He might hang around and
Very
do
food
well.
motivated boy.
finally got the secret out.
So on today's episode, we're gonna start the new year with a pop, not a bang. If you listened to our last episode, you heard that I'm going sober in 2024 and not drinking. But we filmed this before the new year, so I can have this drink and it'll be the last time you see me drinking for the next year. Maybe more. Who knows?
Absolutely. We applaud
Yeah. So we wanted to pop it in front of you. So you ready?
Yeah, ready. Let's do it.
Okay. Woo!
The party that keeps on going, at least until the new year.
Right. Literally, I'm not even kidding. I'm going to have an alarm set for midnight. And once that goes off, actually, I'm going to have an alarm set for 11:59 so that I can chug whatever's on it. And then I'm going to have an alarm set for midnight so then I stop drinking. And I poured that horribly because I was talking.
And I wasn't going to judge you. But
no, I poured it horribly. Look at this. If you're on YouTube, you really see the tragedy. That was the worst pour I've ever done in my whole life.
That's so funny. I was like, trying to adjust.
You're like, the audience is like, yeah, you better not be drinking because you're not good at it. Okay.
Hilarious.
There we go. That's a proper pour. You do it on the side, and then you come back in the middle for a little bit, so you get a little bit of the bubblies.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Mixology. Well, not mixology. Drinkology, I guess.
Love that.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, Teddy. Your toy.
What did I just get?
Okay.
Dude, oh my god, I rinsed out these cups and then wiped it with the paper towel and I got a little bit of the paper towel in my cup. But you got the non-paper towel cup, so
cool.
there you
we'll
go. And cheers to
cheers.
that! And for our loved ones.
Absolutely.
And then we'll take one more, because cheers to y'all.
Cheers to you. Absolutely.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you.
Another new year with us. Do appreciate it and all your support over the past year. So we celebrate that, and we celebrate that going into this new year for sure. So we're gonna drink to that.
I drank halfway through and then I drank again, and I also took this out of the fridge too early, but it's okay. It's okay. So you might be wondering, it's Monday. Did y'all forget to post? If you haven't checked out our Instagram and our TikTok, then you didn't see our announcements. But we are officially moving to Mondays. At 8 p.m.
Yes,
so that's when our podcast will come out. So if you listen in the morning, then you'll listen Tuesday morning. If you listen to podcasts at night, join us on Monday. We're going to have live premieres on YouTube. And so...
And that's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, yes.
For all of our people listening all over the world.
Yes, sorry.
Absolutely.
And we do have shout out to Parky in the UK, our UK listener. Yes. We'll get more and more outside of the country. But you are our shining star right now as far as outside of the US participation. And also watch episode 5, I believe, that Parky edited. Because he's very, very talented, and thank you so much again.
Thank you for that, for sure.
But yeah, so do you want to get into anything about our changes and what to expect in the new year before we get started?
So definitely, again, we did post our resolutions as well, so listen to that episode. All the things we did talk about we want to do personally, as well as a growing podcast as well. So check those things out. I think we've already been doing really good with necessary steps in those directions for ourselves and planning and getting organized and all these things. So I think you guys will be able to kind of see our journey as we continue to just grow throughout this new year. So I'm just really excited for this, for this episode, for the ones to come. I mean, we got some good things really coming, some guests and stuff coming up that I'm really excited for. Again, continue just to support us, and thank you. I do want to highlight as well, at the particular time I recorded this, we have 14 subscribers, and I want to celebrate that, you know what I mean? Because I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. We appreciate every subscriber, and I know some people say, "Oh, that's not, that's nothing," or but I think that every one of you all count, and we do really appreciate you guys for subscribing to our channels, continuously listen to us every week on Spotify and other outlets. So continue to do so. Thank you so much again. And I just want to kind of shout out those those subscribers and say, again, each one we always, text each other, call, we got another one. So we really celebrate every time, and we don't take it lightly that you guys follow us and that you guys continue to support us. So
and on that note, I do want a special shout out to some of our friends who have given us advice through this process. If you have any more advice, please let us know. But on the note of you're not just a number to us at all. We are family. We hope to build a community together, and we want to hear from you. And if there's something that we're doing that's not motivating you to communicate with us, please let us know, because I really want to focus on our community aspect and make you feel like we're not just talking at you, we really want you to feel like you're chilling with us and having fun and talking shit, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But we also, I just want to touch. Oh, he.
So funny. He's going crazy with his hat. So he's literally.
You gotta look on YouTube for this, because that's so funny.
He was really going crazy. He was like, "Oh, that was enough."
Yeah, I get it. I did want to also shout out to us and kind of tell them just a little bit before we get into today's topic about steps we've made to achieve our goals, because I'm very proud of us. We had a 5-hour meeting, something like that. We made all these different documents, we made all these different schedules, and we are really making, I feel just in that meeting that we made huge strides towards what we want from this podcast and where we're going to be in the next year to make those New Year's resolutions a reality. So if you've made a step towards your New Year's resolution, please let us know what your New Year's resolution is and what steps you've taken. We would love to hear from you, and we appreciate you, and I just want y'all to know that we really do take this seriously, and we're putting a lot of work into it, and I hope that shows.
Yes, so. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This episode, what we wanted to do was kind of do an official kind of introduction to who we are. If you've again been following us since the very beginning, and even our episode when we first just kind of decided to do this thing, that's just kind of what we did. We just recorded, hit the record button, just went with it, and kind of really haven't looked back without taking a moment to say, hey, hey, everybody, this is who we are, outside of, our Instagram handles and that kind of thing. And, just a little bit more formal, and the new followers and things and subscribers and people that we get, this would be a good introduction to, again, who we are if you are new as well. So you kind of want to give a little bit kind of insight of, to a little bit about back history, a little bit, those kind of things we do, interests, and then we kind of have some questions that we're going to kind of ask each other and interview one another in hopes, again, that you guys will be able to then connect with us more. And as you said before, we want you to feel like family, feel like you know us, And
anything we ask each other, please answer for yourself in the comments. We really want to learn about you and engage with you. And like we said 5 million times, and we're going to say again, build a community.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And I think that this will definitely help give a little bit more insight to that as
Yeah.
well. And again, during the past episodes as well, of course, we've spoken about, some of our past and experiences and things we want. So definitely in those episodes, of course, I'm sure you've already been able to kind of get a good understanding of who we are. But again, just kind of go a little bit more detail, I guess a little bit more. You back, buddy? Cool.
Yeah. And always like, subscribe, and rate. If you give us a rating, especially for this episode, let's give us 5 stars because we are 5-star bitches. Okay.
Absolutely. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. We gotta. You drink it, but
You're
drink
right.
it again.
Okay.
But in the realness, I want to get started with our fun icebreaker facts that we would share. Back in school and stuff, they'd be like, "Oh, tell a fun fact about yourself." I even did that in college, so we'll start with our fun facts, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Fun facts, and do we do overview? I'm originally from Florence, South Carolina, just to highlight Florence and of course South Carolina as well. Been in the arts my whole life, from singing and dancing and performing in high school, and then transition that into performance and theater in college, and now do film and direct and write.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to explain what I mean by the fun facts, because these are fun facts. They're fun. Don't get me wrong.
I wanted to do the intro, who I am, and then go into everything about because.
Okay. Then that's what I'll do too. Because that sounded like an intro.
It was, but you need that way you get that, and then I can go into because it's still like.
Okay. Right.
Right. So,
okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
And so that's kind of how I got my start, I guess, into the arts, into theater, into film, and I'm also a playwright, a director, I'm a producer, actor. So I do all of those things in the industry. I've done it personal. I've produced 3 plays, one of which I wrote, 2 I was in, directed, and then of course produced. So that's just a little bit about me.
Yeah, where can you let me just get into this. Where can you check out the ones that you produced? Are you
I have the one I produced, the first one I wrote, I haven't put it out, released it yet, as far as to the public, because personally also it was kind of a one night thing, and that'd be a whole story for the other podcast. We'll talk about it. Okay. It is something I do want to do again, because I did get it filmed, but they didn't film it in its entirety. So I think the last 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes, I don't think it's there. But I would love to reproduce it again and actually bring it here, because I did that in South Carolina. So I would love to be able to kind of bring it here, do it in Atlanta, and then and then put that out. And
since you already have some filmed, if you don't know, it's really helpful to already get things filmed, even if it's not in its entirety, because you can bring that to companies and be like, "Here, will you sponsor me?
Right.
This is what it's going to be, but this is how it's going to change, and this is how it's going to evolve. Right. Bring the cash."
And listen, and I appreciate you for saying that, dropping that Jew, because we can talk about that. We gotta make that a thing. Yeah.
For sure. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes. So
should we both do bios? And
Okay.
Sorry, y'all. So I almost kicked over all the alcohol, but I did it. So great job, Amanda. I guess before my bio, a fun fact about me is that I'm very clumsy.
Same, actually, I am too. I really am. And I'm prone to injury.
Yes.
I cut my fingers and cut myself all the time, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, audio listeners. I think I screamed too loud, but yes. Yes. Me too. No, so my background is that I am also an actor and director, producer. I haven't produced in film yet. I've produced theater because my senior project in I got to choose what I wanted, and at my college I did a 45-minute one-woman show and produced that and directed it with the help of one of my professors, and then I had 2 of my friends who are amazing and did some of the design, and then one of them did the stage managing, so it was a great project. I do have it filmed. It wasn't if I were to go back, I would have filmed it a little bit more high quality, because it wasn't as high quality as I'd like to produce, but that was amazing. And then just my entire life, I've always performed. And I used to put on, like, every single time I saw my family, they'd talk about how I put on a show for them. And I used to, like, beg my sister to do it with me. And she got to an age where she was, like, too cool and embarrassed for it. And then my parents were basically like, this is the one thing she asked you to do it.
I love that.
So, thank you for forcing her into performing with me. I just remember one Christmas. I don't know how much she performed after that, but I remember one Christmas that we were going to perform, and they were like, no, you have to. She was expecting this. So yeah, and I guess this is a fun fact, but this just ties into that. So when I was a little kid, I had, like, a comfy couch party, if you know what that is. And I came in and I was, like, dressed like the clown or whatever. And I came in and there was a bunch of people, because my mom knows how to throw a party, and everybody in town was invited. And there was a bunch of people, and I, like, walked into all these people staring at me. And my mom always says, like, she thought that I was going to get really scared. But then all I started doing was... and then I just bounced and turned, and that was my dance move. And if you see me dance today, I do a lot of that, so it's just extended a little bit.
Had these moves for a long time.
Right. But I also do stand-up, and I'm a technician. I'm going to start working with camera more and learning more about that. I've done accounting and PA and boom mic and a bunch of different types of things. And then in theater, I've done essentially all positions.
Right, same.
Yeah, so... yeah, and then, ATL born and raised. So, here I am. And I love Atlanta. I do. Yeah. And I appreciate all the opportunities that I've gotten here and all the people that I meet. And I'm really glad that there's, like, a lot of people from out of town now moving here. So I get to meet a larger variety of people.
Yes,
so.
all the time. I do love it here as well. I guess going back to the original question, a fun fact, which is so crazy as well. But my fun fact is actually that as a kid, I used to be really, really obsessed with magic. I really was. I used to watch it.
I didn't know this, y'all.
I used to be really obsessed with it. Like, watch it, videos, do it, practice it. Like, that was used to be like gifts and stuff I used to ask for. Used to be like magic sets. And I ended up in this store in Marietta that had a bunch of, like, I always saw it's like a trick shop, and I went in and they had, like, all this magic stuff and costumes and stuff too. It was a really nice place. But I do plan on going back, and I really think I'm about going back and tapping into that bag a little bit, because
do it.
It's fun, man. It's
fun, and like you can make a good amount from children's birthday parties too. Right. Especially if you got some hidden ones. Especially if you can find one that a lot of other people don't know how to do.
That's the key. I'm big about the spectacle stuff, so I used to like want to do stuff that.
Or if you got a fog machine.
Right. And I because might be an episode or something, do a little card trick.
Yes, I would love that. Yeah. Oh my god, I love magic tricks so much. I do. I really love watching them. Actually, I guess a fun fact, but bouncing off of that, my uncle knows how to do magic tricks. So growing up, I always like got him to do different magic tricks. And I remember he performed at like one of my cousin's birthdays, but then my sister's birthday, because when we were younger, we had money, but then we didn't after that. But so my sister's like early birthday, she's probably like, I don't know, 6 to 8 range. She had a carnival, and like we had like ponies and stuff. Like it was crazy. It was amazing. But there's a picture of all of us like watching my uncle do magic tricks there.
That's so cool.
And it was so cool and
I used
so
to love
fun.
it. I either got into the hype of it, then like I started really like learning it and learning like sleight of hand and all these different things. And I used to have all these sets, and I mean it was great. It was a great time. It was a great time. And I never thought I would be like ever aspired to be a magician, but like I said, I did always want to perform, and so of course I always, was trying to find ways to like incorporate or think about ideas of, how I could incorporate this into shows, especially at that time, because again, backstory is I used to really want to be sing and stuff. I used to be want to be the next Michael Jackson. So we perform, and I was in boy groups and used to write music and all kind of stuff, all kind of things. So I was like, yo, how can I do my show and incorporate tricks and all kind of things?
So the question is, does a magician reveal his tricks?
They do not reveal their tricks, especially because a lot of times though, when you know how, it's like
it ruins the magic of it.
Even when you learn it, it's like this is
part of me really does want to stay ignorant to
really
that.
Good. It's just really good. A clever skill.
Yeah.
You know,
but I always watch and see if I can find out, but I don't want to ever research to find out because I want to see if I can see it.
And
see him slip.
Some, of course, I know how they do some, but then of course there are other ones that's like, especially like when they do like I be looking to the sea, and then sometimes like when they really they be getting me. Like, I be like I have no clue how they did that. Yeah, my uncle used to change like $1 bill into $100 bill. And I still don't know how he did that. Yeah. But if I could do that in real life, oh my God. Yes, ooh, I would carry nothing but cash just so I could turn dollars to $100. And then imagine me at the strip club, like changing all of them to a. I don't go to the strip club much, but I just imagine me at the strip club and like changing all the ones to 100s and being like, here you go. Yeah, and they'd be like, oh my God. Right.
And then they'll just run to give me a lap dance. So.
Yeah. We need to learn that kind of trick.
I can count on one hand the amount of times I've been to a strip club, by the way.
Right.
But no shame to go or anything. Right. That sounds like it's like my every weekend activity. Right. By how I said it.
So he's in Atlanta. But I don't really go. I don't really go strip clubs.
I know. I can't remember the name, but I'm still upset about that male strip club getting shut down.
Oh yeah,
I can't remember the name right now.
I know the name. I was actually trying to look into employment. I was actually upset that they closed that too.
Oh my God!
I really was, and matter of fact, and I know the name of it too. Can I say the name? They closed.
I mean, it's closed, so they can't. I don't know.
Because it was called Swinger Richards, and I know the name.
Yes, Swinger Richards.
I really was trying to find employment. I really was. I had inquired,
That was the second one I ever been to. The first one I went to was in New Orleans, and it was very sad and weird just because it was so empty, and the people that were there weren't really giving up any money, so it was like so empty, and then the floor was like nothing. So I felt so bad for these girls, and I just ended up bonding with a bunch of them in the bathroom, and we talked a lot, and it was great. But then we were like, it's too empty, I feel exposed, so we left.
That was so funny.
But yeah, and then the rest of the ones I went to were in Edinburgh. So
crazy.
They have some good ones there. If you ever go to Scotland, Edinburgh, Scotland.
Yeah.
They're good.
Oh, wow. It's so crazy.
I didn't go to all of them, but there's like a corner of the street where there's 3 of them, like all next to each other. And yeah, that was, oh my gosh. Yeah. That was fun. I was so embarrassed. I was so red when I came out because it was my first time I ever got a dance, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And I literally, because you can't touch them, so I literally put my hands up against the wall like, girls, I promise I'm not going to touch you.
That's so funny.
Oh my God. Respect and consent, okay?
Always.
But I don't know how I got on that tangent. The magic tricks, I guess. I'm sorry. Go ahead, do your fun fact.
To the strip club.
That is a magic trick in itself. They do some magic tricks.
I've seen some things, and I don't go often either. But a couple times I have gone, but I be the same way. I end up more so bonding with them because I'm type like listen. I feel a way about just avidly just giving my money to just. I'm like, I work hard for this, so I know. Listen, but I make them equally. Like I be wanting to. You got to show me something. Press me.
Okay, but you still give it out. You're not like the stingy one that just pays the cover and doesn't.
Oh no,
okay.
I get my certain amount. This is how much I got. This is how much we spend it, and that's it.
Yeah, that's why I don't give much, or I don't go much because I feel like I need to give a lot, so I got a budget for that.
Yeah, right. I be having to like, this is what I got. This is what you know what I mean, and that's it. And then once that's gone, it's like, okay, so what do you do outside of this? You know, we just start talking.
Once it's gone, I feel like I have to like run away, like with my head down, because I'm like, I don't have anything for you.
No, you're right.
I don't know.
That's so funny. We talk about all kind of things on this podcast. Okay,
right,
back to
right. And again, this just proves it's not really for kids. It's not for kids. I'm even concerned if teenagers listen to it. But the things I watched growing up, but still, it's not for kids. I'm just gonna say that so that I feel better about what else I'm gonna end up saying.
and this your fun fact now, actually.
Oh yeah, okay. So one of my fun facts, I have two main ones I want to share, but one of my fun facts is there was a time that I was in Panama City and I actually chased a dolphin in the ocean, which sounds actually really bad. Like, it sounds like I terrorized the thing, but I didn't. I think we were having a good time, but it was, I was at least, it was a baby dolphin and I swam so we basically had given up on seeing dolphins where we were, because we were like out in the boat. We had given up. I'd come in, taking off all my gear, because I had like a suit on and like flippers and a thing and everything. So I'd taken off all of it, and then we finally saw a dolphin, and I just plunged back on the goggles and jumped into the water and was like, I'm not kidding, it was underneath me the whole time, because I was swimming for my life. I was swimming so fast. And then when I was done, I looked up and there was a boat.
Oh, really?
And I really almost got ran over chasing this dolphin.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was really bad. And then that was like, yeah, because before when we were in the water, we had the flag, so we're in the water.
Right.
But this was like I need to jump now or else I'm not going to see this dolphin again. And it was a little baby one. It was so cute. And then once it got to its parrot dolphins, because there were two of them, so I imagine it's the parrots, then they were all playing around and like lounging around and like doing little twirls. And it was so cute.
Really?
It was so cute.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a dolphin in person or?
No, and for a while I didn't even get in the water like that because I had several near-death water experiences. So me and water was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay away for a little while. And even now, listen, once I get to a point where I'm on like tippy toes, I'm going too far.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I am a true water sign because I love the water. I love
being in the water, near the water, but I still slightly traumatized, so.
No, I risk it for the biscuit. So I guess I'll go into the story real quick.
Because I would have been like, hey.
No, I woke up and I looked up and there was the boat and I was still like, worth it, even if I would have gotten hit, and actually there was one time in college I went on a study abroad and we were in these like blue holes, which if you don't know what blue holes are, they're like parts in the, I'm not going to explain it in a very scientific way, but they're parts of the ocean that are like little deep pits of, like, there's usually like kind of rock type beings and coral, and like you can swim down in it, and it's just like this one hole in the ocean. And YouTube, you got a really crazy gesture. So there was that, and there was a sunken ship at the bottom, right? So I kept on like swimming down to the ship, and it was probably like 20 yards down, maybe 20 feet like minimum down. Like it was far down. I had to really hold my breath, and I was in better shape then, so I could do it. Then I also learned that you have to like do the clear thing with your nose. You have to like hold your nose and essentially like blow. I don't know how to explain it, but where your ears pop, you have to make your ears pop, because then you'll get a headache. I started getting a headache, so I was doing it so much. But I went down there and I got someone to film me, and I don't know where this footage is, and I wish I had it, because when you hear, I'm like, you want to see it too, because it's crazy. But I went down, and while someone was filming me, and I wanted to stand on the boat and look at the camera. And so I went down there, and I was like, this is the first time I noticed there's all these little fish in this boat. And this boat is like a 1-person, maybe 2-person boat. Like it's a small boat. And I was like, oh my God, I want to swim underneath and look at the fish. And I was having all this thought while I was holding my breath already and down there. Like I went down there to take the picture, then I noticed the fish, then I was like, oh, I got to swim there. And then I swam underneath the boat and went through the little opening that was probably no bigger than like this. Like I had to suck in every part of my body and move like a mermaid to get through. Yeah. And then I tried to push off because I was super out of breath at that point, and I just got pulled back down because the back of my bathing suit was stuck on the boat. Yes. Thank God I got my tetanus shot before this, but it was stuck on the boat, and I was trying to get it undone. I couldn't get it undone, and then I finally was like, okay, well, fuck it, and I ripped it, and then I had a hole in my butt the rest of the trip, but I ripped it and pushed off and came up. And then I remember those professors didn't really know me that well, and they were pissed. They were like, how dare you almost die on this trip and make me have to fill out paperwork and possibly fly home. Like,
because the paperwork can do it to your time. Hey, I mean, it's a tragic event.
That's not what they said, but they essentially were like, you were about to make me miserable and do a bunch of work. Why did you do that? And, so funny. You would think after an event like that, like, you would get out and stay out of the water. You wouldn't try anything or anything. But I had a moment down there where I was like, I'm going to die like this. Yeah. I was like, that's okay. Right. I think even though that's apparently one of the worst ways to die, I was so much like, I'm going to be miserable, but I'm going to be in water. Right. So it's chill.
It is so crazy that both of my experiences are the same thing. Like, okay, this is about to happen.
Yeah. But I stayed in the water. I did not even get out of the water. I stayed and played. I didn't go swimming through that ship again, but I did stay and play, and I was just being wild. Like, I think about that moment, I'm like, okay, is this like a testament to my insanity or or a testament to how much I love water? Like, I can't tell.
That's so funny.
But yeah, and also you'll get to know us through these tangents because they will happen.
Right.
Y'all know that. Unless you're new, y'all know that.
You do, welcome. That's so funny.
Okay, so that's one of my fun facts. What's your next fun fact? And a story.
Next fun fact. Sorry, I had a good one.
I can tell mine if you want.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so one of my favorite fun facts about myself is that I played football in middle school. So I played in 8th grade, and I was on the offensive and defensive line. And I was first string, and I was the captain, one of the captains. And me and the other captain called each other Beast every time we saw each other. It was really cute. And like, this is like an all boys. This was our middle school team. I was the only girl. And I was the only girl in that school history at that time, and one of the only ones in the county. So there's three little tidbits that are my favorite things. Number one, I found out that I made the team with my hair and makeup done, in a dress and heels. Yeah. Because I was going to make sure, like, I'm a woman who can do both. Like, I can scrap it up, but I can also dress nice and look fancy and look feminine. Like, I very much flow between masculine and feminine and energy. And so that's number one. And then also number two, I wasn't supposed to be a lineman. So I went to camp the summer before, and I went up to the coach previous and asked if I could be on the team or try out. I almost said audition and try out for the team. And he was like, yeah. And he later told me that he never thought I was going to make the team when he said yeah. And some boys didn't make it, so. But yeah, so I went to the camp, and I had talked to my dad. I didn't know too much about football, honestly, and I can tell you the origin story later. But I went to the camp, and I just remembered he said line something. Turns out he was like, you should be a linebacker, because at the time I could run really well, and I was playing soccer and football at the same time. So both footballs. And then I just heard the line. So then they called positions, and I didn't hear linebacker or anything. All I heard line-wise was lineman. Yeah. And I had a lot of friends that were linemen, so I just went with that group, and that's how I became a lineman. Really? But my favorite story of all time, which is my dad's favorite story to tell about me, and I wonder how this guy is doing in life now, but there was, like, some sexual harassment that definitely happened on the team. Like, literally some guys would just, like, whip it out right before we started a play, and like call my name and like have it out and whatever. So, you know, like teenage bullshit, that's not okay, but for the time, like people didn't think about that stuff. So I'm not like mad at them or like holding on to that, but you need to know that in preface for this. So this guy walks up, and I wasn't even friends with him. At least the ones that flashed me were my friends at the time. but this guy, I was not friends with him. He came behind me and just slapped my ass and then gave me like this creepy grin of like happiness. He was like, like I did that. What are you going to do? And then I turned to him and I said, you do that again, I'm going to put you in the fucking hospital. Yeah. And then I asked my coach to go against him in the next play. And I didn't tell him why or anything. But I asked him, and then we went against each other, and I pancaked his ass. Yeah. Which, if you don't know what pancaking is, that means when you literally, like, knock them to the ground where they, like, flop over entirely. Like, they don't, like, go all around. Like, they are down immediately. And so I pancaked his ass, and then I really did not mean to do this. People are going to think that I meant to do this, but it's also, looking back, a funny part of the story. When I got up, I stepped on his balls. So he learned. He never messed with me again. He honestly did not even come near me after that. So, yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's
so my football story. So I had to go through that, but definitely badass that you had to look that way. For sure. Absolutely.
And I have several stories about football, but those are like some of my favorite highlights. So.
And I wanted to play football. And I went to the camps and all the things. And I was really, really set for it, and I was really excited to play. And then the opportunity came for me to audition for my school's show choir, which you had to audition. It was an honors course and all that stuff. And then I made it. I got in. And so I asked if I could do both. I asked the football coach if I could do both. Because one was actually during school, so it was actually like a class as well. So I got high school credit for it as well at the time. And so they told me no. They told me I couldn't do both. And so because
this was in high school?
Yeah. So because I wanted to, of course, pursue the arts, it has always been my goal and my dream a little bit more than football. Of course, I chose that road. But I always thought about like how things maybe could have been different if I would have been able to do both, or if I could have had that outlet. But we'll never know. And I never, I felt like even at the time, like it wouldn't have hindered either way, because football was in the, of course, in the fall, and then our big shows and stuff like that, where we really had a lot more commitment, was during the spring. So it literally, and we had extended rehearsals on Mondays, but games and stuff like that was Thursdays, Fridays. So it literally wouldn't have been no issue at all.
That's such a disservice to you, and very annoying.
Yeah, it is.
That's one thing that was really incredible about my theater teacher in high school over everybody. She was the best in the entire school. Whatever else you wanted to do, she did not get in the way of that. Yeah. Like, if I wanted to play football and also do theater, I definitely could have. Like, we had people on the volleyball team and cheerleading, and then I played soccer in the spring, and like all that stuff, and she worked around it, and she took the L because other people weren't willing to give as much as she was, so then you missed out on time, which I was also like, there was only one time that I got kind of upset because I was the understudy and I was there more than the person playing the role.
Oh, really?
And I was like, come on, okay, I feel like I earned it, but it's okay. Right. But she was also a better singer than me, so.
But I did feel that in high school and at the time that it was more so not because it was a conflict, even though that was kind of the reason, not the reason, because even when I add, it wasn't like a direct, it was very indirect, which made me more so think the way I thought back then was that it was based off of the stigma, and to be a black guy or be any guy or male and kind of want to sing or in the arts, you're always kind of, placed in a certain way, and I felt that, because if you sing or you're in the choir, that's not football material are masculine, or you know what I mean, those kind of things. And that goes like even at that time I felt that, you know what I mean. But it was like I said,
I mean, you believe what you're told, you know, so that's not on you.
And I felt like that was the stigma, to have a choir boy on the football team, you know. And I really felt like that's really what it was more so, you know.
Yeah. And that's another reason why I'm thankful for her too, because she literally preached this all the time to everyone of like athletes make some of the best actors because you already have that like innate thing in you to like react to something immediately. And that actually helps a lot with acting and with singing and with like band and all that stuff. Like it helps you with the arts also having a sports background. That doesn't mean you have to have it to be good or anything, or that you even need to like sports. I'm not saying that, but there are a lot of people like we can see that have done sports and have also done acting, and they did great in both. So I mean, the Rock was originally a wrestler. He really was. So...
right. And I think you can do both. You know, you know, equally, or you know, again, you know, if because I feel like that's a thing too. You know, again, like, you know, especially like kind of being in the arts. I think a lot of people feel, especially I think like as a male, because typically, you know, you if you want to act or you want to, you know, it's more so like, why aren't you trying to do sports? Why aren't you trying to do, you know, and you do kind of get that, you know, and I've gotten that, you know, and I know that. And many others may have too, you know, which is, you know, are the person who's kind of, you know, strange and don't know that place. Nobody always kind of generates toward the arts. I mean, the people that we you know, we see and know are typically that, you know, and then or that, you know, that I've experienced, you know, where a lot of the people in the arts was very like outcast, like, you know, you know, like a lot of theater kids be kind of like that, you know, because when you want to pursue entertainment early, it seemed weird. It really is, you know. Like I want to, it's like, you want to do what? And I remember even in college, so many people what I want to do, and it was always like, why? Or what are you going to do with that? Or you know what I'm saying? So it's that, you know, it's always been that kind of thing, you know, when it comes to you know, pursuing a career in the arts. I think we all have probably had like, you want to do what? You know what I mean? Like, there's no support, or make sure you have a backup plan. Make sure, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, well, why can't I just full-heartedly 100% commit to this the same way a doctor would or a lawyer would? You support them the same way. Because again, at the end of the day, we can't act like entertainment doesn't bring in billions of dollars, because it do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It does.
Like, one thing that I learned at GTC, shout out to GTC, which is like Georgia Theater Conference. So we went in high school, and this one guy, I wish I remembered his name or anything else about him besides this quote, but he said there, if you have a plan B, you're not meant for this. Like, because this career takes so much out of you and so much effort to like start getting results that like you can't have a plan B. So anyone telling you to have a plan B, they just aren't in the field. Exactly. And that's another thing that I've definitely learned is like, I'm only going to take advice from people with experience on the advice that they're giving. Okay. They don't have to be completely successful in it, because you can learn just as much from your failures, and your failures lead to your success. Right. But if you've never even stepped on stage or never gotten behind a camera, like, how are you going to tell me how to run my career? Right. And what's good for me? And a lot of times, like, people definitely have their best intentions. They're looking out for you, but like, they're going based on fear, not based on reality. Right. So and
granted, you know, this is an industry that it isn't like direct.
There's no clear path.
There's no clear path, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You make your own.
Right. And, you know, even talking to people, everybody had a completely different way. It's not like, you know, if I go to school to be a lawyer, you know, as long as I pass that test, I can be a lawyer. Right. You know, it's
you
not
don't
that
even
same
have
thing.
to go to school for this.
Right. You know, and that was the thing that, again, even as like going through college, and the whole thing was like, was that. Like, you have to go to school. Some people don't. Some people do. All those things, and it doesn't matter. You can have, so much raw. I know people who, even like the and I can't think of her name at the particular moment, but the actress who played Precious, had no.
Oh, I can't think of her name.
No filming experience at all. Just randomly, went to an audition for the first time and boom. You know what I mean? So you can, or and people who literally have went to school, go to acting classes and all this stuff, and they're still the struggling actress. So
or Lamorne Morris, if you know him from New Girl, he played Winston. I listened to him on a podcast the other day talk about how he had just moved to LA, had his first pilot season, got an offer for another role, and got the offer for New Girl. So this is his first pilot season.
Right.
Like, that is so rare.
That is so rare.
Or Steve Carell went to finish law school and then became an actor. Like,
right.
That is just wild.
Wow.
And so everybody's story is different.
It is.
There's no clear path, which is so freeing but so stifling in a
way. And actually, even in my journey, that's been my biggest struggle, is that as like, even doing all these things, it's like, again, there is no clear path. So it is making, and I mean, a lot of people say, you don't want to go do this, or you don't want to try this, or, these regular jobs. It's like, listen, I've lived my whole life. I've literally have pursued this one thing. And I've even tried to ponder if to do anything else. And, it's like, I can do other things, but I'm really good at this, why do anything else? And so for me, it's always been that kind of like determination and quest to do it, to make it, and to continue to sacrifice for it, and that it will happen, and so but it is daunting a little bit sometimes, like, because there is no clear way for sure. And so people like I said, when people say that, it's like, well, listen, if I had the blueprint, I'm telling you, I would have already been there. But,
right, I definitely would have, because I was so good at school because it was so clear of what exactly I needed to do, and like I would like do extra on assignments usually, anyways. But like I was really great at school, even in college with acting. I was really great at that because it was very clear, and I was told kind of what to do, and I did it. And so now, like, that's what's kind of like made me not have as much or as fast of a process in like getting the success in this career field, is that it completely wrecked me. I had to reevaluate who I was after I graduated college.
Same.
Because I did not know who I was without school.
And it was so crazy. I went through that same thing, kind of identity thing, where it was just like, oh man, like, so much of my identity was wrapped in school and the things I was doing.
And my worth.
Yeah, and so it was like, when I didn't have that, it was just like, oh man, like, okay, then how do I, even when it came to, now again, like, and I mentioned this in the other episodes, like, as far as like me being able to and wanting to do more content and stuff for my social media page, but there was a specific time where I was lost in that. Okay, what brand do I go? What direction do I go? I don't necessarily want to be, categorized as these things if I put this out, but I'm not, if I feel like I'm very humorous, but I don't want to necessarily be labeled as a comedic, but then, I'm kind of serious, but I don't want to be labeled, so it was really trying to like figure out, and then, like, how much of myself do I put out, or what, this is art, people already been doing this, and, some people, especially when it comes to social media stuff, people been doing stuff since like Vine days, you know what I mean, so they're already established.
And I wanted to do stuff before then.
I even have some videos and stuff that I did. I was like, if I really would have kept this going, I was ahead of my time. I got videos and stuff. I was ahead of my time. Like,
but it was like such a like my biggest issue in life that has stifled me in different ways. But I'm thankful for it because it got me here. You gotta say that. But is I get in my own damn way, and the amount of people that have told me that is like crazy. Yeah. Because like there was one of my childhood friends. We started this show when we were kids. I don't know where the videos went, but then like I was just like getting in my head, and then I was also like, the internet's forever, so I don't know, and like I have like felt like I am not good enough, and then I also, the only way I felt good enough was like through my grades and through school. So I just had to do a lot of reevaluating, but And honestly, like, I'm gonna be real, like, a harsh reality I had to get on myself lately is I have never put 100% of the entirety of myself consistently into my acting career.
Right.
Because of how I feel about myself, and that I counted myself out before I even put it in the ring, like put myself in the ring.
I was going to ask, so what would be something like you would tell like your younger self in pursuit of this career?
Honestly, you know what I would have done? I would have posted it. I would have followed every single gut instinct that I had of different shows I wanted to do, different things I want to post, and I would have never let one thing that I have to do a lot of work to be able to get back to where I have been once in my life with singing is to block out all the mental stuff about it and like all the like bullying and stuff. But it's like, to be real with myself, like it's ridiculous that I'm still listening to like an 8-year-old kid telling me that I can't sing when I'm sure as an 8-year-old kid I probably couldn't sing, but I listened to that like my whole life, you know, and it like based a lot of me singing. So a lot of people have heard me sing, but they did not hear me actually sing because they heard like the scared version of me singing, which did not sound that good.
Right.
But if you actually hear me sing,
and you
like,
sang really well. She was singing the other day. We had
we were just singing together.
She was harmonized a little bit. And I was looking like, wait a minute, like
you didn't even know.
I really didn't even know. Like I'm like, so she started singing. I'm over here like, I'm singing low, like
what? And you have a gorgeous voice.
But you was hitting harmonies and stuff. I just wasn't ready for it. I was like, and my voice at the time wasn't ready for all that. So I was like, I tried a little bit. I had a little crack. I was like, I'm gonna let her do it this way.
And so, but on that, I've been trying to connect to my like younger self and live life now how I wish I would have lived it then.
And that's the thing.
And
I'm
like
trying
playing
to get into.
homage,
even though like I don't.
So I have posted my singing. I have one singing video out, and there's more in my drafts that I've been doing a lot of work.
I've been doing some things only because like I don't want to be like a singer, you know, really anymore. Like so, once I kind of got into the theater world, I realized
I want to do musicals though.
I would like to do some musicals. But I realized that like, you know, that kind of really was what I wanted to do a little bit more. But you know, she knows I sing around, but I don't like really be public with it, and so I'm trying to get to a place.
And y'all are missing out.
I'm trying to get to a place where I can, but that's also because too, like even the whole time, like even like high school stuff, like I was among some really great singers. You know what I mean? And we were all young, but some really great singers, and because we was also on a course, there was also not like.
It's like the cattiness of it too.
And not really, because I mean I think we were really good. Like, you know, I love my choir. Like, shout out to them. You know, TALKIN Production is the name. Look them up. They're really great.
I didn't even understand what you just said. So repeat it.
TALKIN Production is the name.
Tiger
Production.
Tiger Production.
Yeah, that's what he was. So check us out. There are some videos on like YouTube and stuff, but not of me, but you know, past these new people, type of thing. But you just gotta deal with what kind of things we used to do and stuff. But you know, it was just a lot of competition. That's the word. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's like because we were amongst some great.
Literally have a singing competition too.
Literally, even to get in, like it was. Listen, first of all, it was literally a little. It felt like a American Idol, and then you got everybody who's
except you're not going to Hollywood.
Right, you got everybody going to Hollywood because you got everybody who's already in the class. You know what I'm saying? Just like, right, just judging, looking at you. You know what I'm saying? You got somebody. You must have your little accompaniment track. Like it was the first time It was really my first time really actually auditioning for anything, you know? So it was like, you know, this little track I had bought $9.99 little karaoke CD that I could afford, and I'm just on the back of it, any song that's on here, because that's all I got. I got to pick it, and just try to find the best one for me. It was really nerve-wracking, because like I said, some great, amazing singers. So it was always competition. Like even when we had to do parts and solos, it was like, okay, who wants it? 3 of y'all want it? Okay. Yeah. boom, who gonna do it?
But you don't see, and this goes for everybody, you don't see yourself how the world sees you.
Right.
And usually the only people that speak up are like negative people.
Yeah.
So you don't even know how many people were looking at you thinking about how amazing you were and thinking that they didn't measure up, you know?
Right.
Like
That's
you never
true.
know.
That is true. That's true. Even though
some of the ones that you thought were incredible could have been thinking the same thing about you.
Right.
And honestly, I don't know how they wouldn't, because I've heard you sing. Yeah. You don't sing as much as I would love to hear your voice, but I have heard you sing, and it is great. It's beautiful.
We try to get there, y'all. I promise you.
I get that.
Even sometimes,
I get that.
Because I had to get to a point where, you know, even when you hear your voice, it's like, and that's only my biggest thing. You know what I mean? Like, I do feel like I have the talent, but it's that thing where I don't like hearing myself. Yeah. So.
Well, also, even the song that I recorded, it's still not my best because the fear is still there.
Yeah, right.
So I know until I post enough that I'm like, okay, now everybody knows how it sounds. Then I'll actually improve and show what my real voice is. Because even singing with you didn't even hear the entirety of my real voice because I was still scared. Like sometimes I was letting it go, but it doesn't matter how close I am to you, how much I love you, and how much I know that you like support me and love me, and or even if you think I'm great at singing, like it's still so.
Right, the same way. It's
packed
like,
into me.
Like, but I'm getting better at that.
Me too.
Again, like my plan is again for this new year is to do a little bit more. So you know what I'm saying. So check those stories.
Well, and I know someone that like they posted their singing and it wasn't like I saw their growth from when they started posting to now, and they sound incredible. Yeah, right. And they've like booked things from it, and I guarantee you a lot of them if they ever sounded like a little off or shaky in the beginning, I guarantee you it was a fear base, not a talent base.
And that's what I feel like too, because a lot of times when I'm in a song, then like the beginning is like always, you know, but of course by the time like I'm in the middle and now I'm a little bit more comfortable, and you know then it does kind of come out a little bit better. But it is you know, it is. So I'm trying to so I really do be having like, I'm trying to make it a thing, you guys. It is a part of me that I love, because music is definitely like my, you know, it's healing for me. It's an escape. It's so many things. So it's just in me. So it is something I definitely want to be able to share a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe comment if you want to hear us sing on an episode. Because when I sing for y'all, it's my play, it's my comedy voice, it's not my real singing. Right. So I'm scared even saying that, but I really that's the thing that I know is gonna make me grow more than anything, and that's for anyone, is like I'm really trying to focus on doing something that scares me every single day.
Absolutely. And I was thinking about actually doing, because I actually be practicing like my little karaoke go-tos, that just in case an impromptu karaoke pop off, I'm ready.
I usually scream during karaoke and not sing.
I really got a couple songs. I'm going to be in the car sometimes like, let me just put the karaoke track and just ride to myself, practice. Because listen, that impromptu karaoke, somebody might want to come and challenge one day. I said, this is going to happen. I'll be walking down the street, somebody like, I challenge you right now, karaoke off. And I got to be ready.
Now you're living in a musical. Like, what is this?
Yes. At any moment, people gonna bust out a song.
You took that too seriously, watching all the musicals.
But at the same time, again,
it could happen.
If you're from here and you know, I mean, the amount of times that people just in the streets, sidewalks, just singing, and it can happen. You know what I mean? It could really happen.
I really do miss
just singing and just
my favorite local crackhead that was always singing and dancing. Yes. And I hope he's doing well, because it was a performance.
Yes.
He's a performer. Like, he was like giving it all to anybody that was around him, but also so in touch. And I don't know if it was the drugs or the confidence, but he was so in touch with. And don't do drugs though.
I like crack. They be really confident.
Yeah,
this big and still will.
Because he did not care. He was not taking in that anybody could see him do it. He was like, I am performing, and that is it. And I'm performing for me. And it was beautiful to watch. Like, whether it was that in his system or not, like. It was fun, and I always enjoyed it, and he always inspired me, so I bet he didn't know he inspired anybody with it, but he did. He did. Not inspire me to do crack, just inspired me to perform. Let's be clear. Please don't do drugs.
And so outside of yourself...
or at least crack.
What's been some of, like, the biggest challenges as far as, like, you know, especially, and to, like, speak on you because like. You know, you really be doing the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see her work. I see the way she, like, been going, especially, like, these past couple of weeks, like, the way she been kind of going at it to, you know, get this industry job and stuff is actually very inspirational to really see. But I know you also, you know, always had an agent and stuff, and you've already kind of really done a lot of stuff, background work, really in the industry. So what has been, like, some of the challenges, or do you feel as far as like really getting that kind of big break, or you know, I saw, you know, I know you mentioned yourself, but are there any other things or certain roles or
definitely it's getting better, but that's part of the reason that I did have this negative self-talk was what was told to me by people in the industry and also what I saw. So things are getting better. It's getting more inclusive with like body types and skin colors and genders. It's very much improving.
That is true.
But the only one that I saw like similar to me that I felt like was like Tracy and Hairspray growing up, and that was a big inspiration for me. And then, you know, like Melissa McCarthy and all these people. But now I'm seeing people more like my specific body type and in different types of roles. Because I was told even in college, there was an audition that I did for an ingenue role, which if you don't know what ingenue is, it's like basically like, it's usually the lead, but it's basically like the pretty girl that the guy goes after essentially. And I was basically told that I don't know what my type is, because if I ever thought that I was right for a role like that, then I don't know what I'm doing, essentially. I'm like, okay, offensive.
Right.
But,
And let me just say that sometimes the way they give you the
notes, I know.
Oh my, yeah.
They completely discounted me. The second I said that I was singing that song, they were like, oh, she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know what she looks like. So she's not right for this career, like, essentially.
Right.
And that's not true. Like, one person's opinion is not the truth of the universe. But yeah, I definitely took that on. So it wasn't just myself, it was also how I reacted to other people. And then also, like, this shit is hard. It's really hard.
It is really difficult,
and
for sure.
You have to be so strong mentally and so secure within yourself to make it in this industry. And so I wasn't giving my all, but also that was because I was in such like a dark place mentally. So I really like hyper focused on my mental health, and then everything started falling into place. So, I mean, if I could give any advice, no matter what you want to do, focus on yourself, your needs, your mental health, and then tackle what you need to do for the career, because you won't even be able to handle the wins if you're like, your mental health is just only bringing up all the losses and like, or counting yourself out before you start. Because
that's a big thing. I know a lot of people.
That's what I changed recently.
Yeah.
And someone gave me great advice my senior year of college, and I did not listen to her because of my own personal things about myself. But she was like, apply for the roles you don't think you could get in a million years. Because you never know.
Right.
Because she was like, I did that, and I got booked.
Yeah, right.
Like, and that's what I've been doing.
You get the call, surprise, really?
Yeah. I have an audition today because I just literally just went through and applied for everything. Except for if they said model type, I felt like they weren't talking about me.
Right, you know.
So, like, the reality of what they think a model type is and, like, what they think, like, a gorgeous supermodel is, I know I'm not that type.
Right.
It's okay. I'm comfortable with that. But everything else, I was like, bet. You're 16, bet. You're 45, bet. Like, everything. So I did that. And then I also I just got new headshots. I've been working on my reel. Like, things that I've known. I did update my headshots regularly, but my reel is something that I've kind of, like, I just tend to put myself on the back burner. And once I finally stopped doing that and put myself, like, on the hot burner, because I'm a hot plate, then, like, I was actually getting further in everything. And I know as I continue to do that, and then also mental health is an everyday thing, unfortunately, that you have to work on. Like, every day. So the more I focus on that, the more I actually just put my hat in the ring instead of like just thinking about it. Then like more I take action and stop thinking, then the more results I get. Oh, also, if you haven't tried daydreaming, that is the most amazing thing in the world. Like visualization work.
I'm a Pisces. We live in daydreams.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
I mean, I
love it too. I love it.
I like worked for a theater in the UK and like spent 3 months there, and that all honestly started from visualization because I kept on seeing myself there, and I was like, why am I seeing myself? Yeah. What is going on?
That's why I tell me like too. Like when I put my eyes on something, I typically get it because then I like, especially like about daydream and think about it. Then it's constant. It's a constant. Because like we live there, so it's a constant daydream for me. But it helps me see it. Like I be on these jobs or I be driving and just constantly just thinking about what I want, thinking about the life I want. You know what I mean? Like literally daydreaming about it all day. Then makes me have that action to do it. Or if I'm doing something where I really don't like or wish I was doing something else, it helps me kind of get through whatever. So if I'm on some of these other jobs or whatever, thinking about that and daydreaming about it kind of like helps me get through the shift.
And trust the journey. Don't think about how you're not at the end result yet.
Yeah, because one thing that I had to like really think about, because a phrase used to like really put it in my head a lot, was like J-Lo didn't have Love Don't Cost a Thing till she was in her 30s. Her first hit. Yeah. Oprah didn't have her first show till she was in her 30s. Colonel Sanders didn't do Chicken until he was in his 60s. So True. To really think that. And I'm a big person on this where I feel like, okay, it got to happen soon. It got to happen now. Time. But the more I realize, more than anything, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, despite where, even if I'm not necessarily where I want to be. But in the place where is, this might be a season where I just need to get knowledge. This might be a season where I need to organize. This might be a season where, like I said, I need to update headshots. I need to update my resume. I need to update, what I'm saying? But that's a good place. It's a good place now to be in, even though it's like, okay, yeah, I really wish I could be on the set, but you need to be in this place you're in now because it's forcing you to do those things so you can be where you want to be. Because otherwise, you wouldn't update your headshots, you wouldn't update your resumes, you wouldn't stay true to your craft, you wouldn't spend extra time practicing or doing what you're doing, So we have to definitely not take our small beginnings for granted, and as long as we are making some steps in the right direction towards what we want, just know that it is going to happen. I don't believe that seeds of seeds of anything you plant is always going to sprout. Yeah. Whatever it is.
But they'll have seasons where they go back down and look like they might be dying, but they're actually still alive. Like, and they're working towards that growth.
Right. So if the root of you is still growing, development, thinking about it, if you, like I said, I do believe you think about whatever it is you try to pursue every day, trying to figure out how you make it, how you can do it, continue to do that.
But then take the next step and do something.
You do got to do the action. Yeah. Because, what I'm saying, what they say, what a dream with no action is, or playing with no action, or playing with no action is just a dream. That's what they say. So
make it into a goal.
Make it into a goal.
Yeah, and one thing I've been doing, and I feel like I've been getting long-winded answers, so this will be the last part I say about this, but one thing is that I've been leaning on my people. Yes. So I know that I have so many friends in the industry. We all want to grow. We all want to create. So I've been having a lot of talks with my friends of like, what do you want to create? Let's figure out what we can create together. And the next time we hang out, let's create something. Yes. And that's been so helpful.
And I'm going to say to go on that if you do have that kind of circle. Because for me, I feel like sometimes it's been the opposite, right? And you'll see this a lot of times, even in business too, where again, don't be, disheartened by it when you don't see the people you're closest to rooting for you, or the people closest to you supporting you. Because ideally, and unfortunately as it is, but the reality is, I have received more from people that I don't know, or complete strangers, or more support. And sometimes that happens, but like I said, don't be disheartened if you feel like the people close to me not support my dream. They don't believe, they're not believing in it, because you'd be surprised the amount of people who you don't know who will. And again, it shouldn't be like that, which I will say, listen, if people in your corner that's pursuing something, want to do something, definitely support them, hands down. But don't beat yourself up or feel disheartened if you feel like the people that's closer to you don't, because everybody's not meant to see your vision, even despite the people closest to you. So, and
you can't put your expectations on people too.
Right. And you say that right. But,
and some people like I'm friends with aren't in the industry at all. So yeah, they support me, like they wish the best for me, but like, do they watch every single thing I do? No. Right. But that's not because they don't support me. Anytime I talk about it, they're very like supporting and encouraging and stuff. Yeah. But that's not like their interest necessarily. Right. So I can't fault them for not watching all the time or not. If they take a step to watch once, and if they support me in a conversation about it and they ask me about how it's doing, like that they're still showing their love and support it, and it just might not be in the way that like people in the industry would show their love and support or a stranger would. Like everybody's got their own life. Everybody has their own dreams and goals. So you can't expect everybody to be like obsessed with you.
So if people closest to you not support, do it anyway. And if people that you don't know don't support, then do it anyway. You know what I mean? So more of the story is do it anyway. Just do it. We're going into a new year where we're going to just do it. Those goals, aspirations,
get her done.
Get them done. And it does take work. A lot of times, it is true. Sometimes people get into the place of where to start, and like even in this industry, where to start, where to begin. But definitely, try to find those groups. For me, I mean, listen, for those who still have and believe, Facebook is a great resource. They typically have every group of whatever your interest is. There's typically a group out there for that. So, and I love Facebook for the most part because Facebook is a good social media platform for community, more local community. Because typically you will see people directly in your area, the people they request, the people they say friends. Typically your friends are mutual friends of somebody else. They're really kind of good at that building of community and be able to find people directly where you are. Like I can literally, that was one thing I did when I first moved here, was looked at all the groups, like all the active groups of ATL, all the film groups, the job groups, you could do that with a lot of your specific area, no matter where you are. Because there's lots of these are real people.
And I've been wondering, like, for the longest, because I don't know the percentages of how many people utilize Facebook. I've been wondering if we should get a Facebook group, like an artist page. So if you are on Facebook, please type "get Facebook" in the comments to let us know that that's something you want too. Yes. Because I mean, we'll get if even one person's like "get Facebook," I'm gonna definitely that same day be like, all right.
And I have Facebook for everything, for my personal stuff as well as my business, because I personally do believe in Facebook, like I said, for that reason. It can, I believe, again, compared to the other platforms, it is the closest that's going to connect you close to people actually in your community. I mean, I feel like the other social medias, are really good for like abroad, or you meet people abroad, because you do have an opportunity to where you can kind of, I mean, regardless of reciprocated or wanted, but you can really kind of direct message and talk to anybody, like, those other, but Facebook again is really good for community, really, really good. So if you're trying to find immediate people who do or have the same interests, because a lot of times that's really where it starts too. If you don't find it in your immediate family or friends or groups, or you don't know what strangers to go for, definitely look for groups where those people have the same like mind as you. And then once you connect with other people like minds as you, then of course your network will expand, because then of course as networking goes, that's what happens, Oh, you try this place, go to that place. Oh, I do this, from talking to like-minded people, then you start getting those suggestions. You start seeing, how that community will really grow, which is so true. Even here, where as great as it is, how those things matter, because you start realizing that you start working with the same people, because you start really realizing how small the community is at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, so.
Sorry, go ahead. Okay. I really want to ask you, I know we're getting close to time, but I really want to ask you this. So, what ways like, what has been your biggest personal challenge throughout your life? What ways have you worked towards it? How is it now? And what advice would you give to people? I know that's a lot.
Yes, my biggest challenge in life, but not necessarily, I guess I was going to say life, I guess at this time, or you mean like in life, or just kind of like it pertains to like career things, or
I mean anything. I mean, like, for example, like mine was like definitely like how I talk to myself.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, and how that's influenced me. So what's been like, if you had to say, this has been my personal biggest challenge in my life that I've had to actively work towards being on the winning side of, essentially.
I think that ultimately it's always been, for me, the biggest challenge really has really been, like we mentioned before, is there is no direct plan to this. And like I said, my whole life has literally been in the arts, in pursuit of this. Only thing I ever wanted to do, only thing I ever
When
thought
did
about.
you know? Like, how young were you when you knew?
I would say as early as probably like 7 or 8. Because originally I wanted to be a teacher. I was like, oh, be a teacher would be great, right? But then I realized, but I wanted to be the teacher that was going to be talked about everywhere. Like, I used to dream about like being the best teacher who was like in all the newspapers and magazines. People would
teacher of the world.
Yeah. So, but I realized again that all of that still was again entertainment. You know, it kind of wanted that spotlight and that kind of thing. So I definitely think early on. But as far as like when I really started kind of performing, singing, and be like, okay, yeah, it was definitely around 7 to 8 and stuff. So it was even then like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm trying to do talent shows, and so just maneuvering through this thing. But again, like, because again there is no set way. That was always difficult, because it's like, who do I follow? Especially again from a country boy from Florida, South Carolina, where nobody, and even still, outside of like friends I met along the way and people I have along the way, but even still, like, nobody in my immediate circles is doing what I'm trying to do. And growing up, it wasn't hardly anybody talking about being a musician, a singer, being famous, being an actor. You know what I mean? So having even like directly,
same actually growing up,
no, or even being like, okay, let me find a mentor, or somebody who is like is in this industry. There isn't a lot of that, and again, with so many people, because by the time you really get in the industry, you start asking people, how did you get here? How did you get on? And literally everybody's story is like so different. Like I said before, you got these major careers where all I have to do is go to school, get an education, take a test, get certification, boom, I'm that. And again, this industry isn't like that at all. So that's been the biggest thing. So the number one thing from that was, number one, outlining what it is and I'm trying to do. Okay, Q, what is it that you're trying to achieve? What is it that you want to see? And then really creating my own path, because you have to, on trying to get that. Okay, cool, I do this the necessary. I go to school, I study, I practice, I learn my life. I do those things because you always want to be a master of your craft. So that's the first thing you always want to do. If you got an idea to do something, is definitely learn everything you can about that particular craft. So that was number one. And whether you go to school or not, because I went to school for theater, but then I came out here in pursuit of, like I said, knowing that I want to add film to it, and versus going to school again, I'm like, okay, I just do this by learning experience. I try to get on as many sets as I can, and I get on, even if it's independent, even if they don't pay, like I've been on a lot of sets, 12, 14 hours and not got a dime. But the learning experience is of course always worth more than any amount of money you could receive, because now I have those skills to where that I can go on sets and films and stuff, and at least know a little bit what I'm talking about, and at least a good bit to fake it till I make it for the things I might not, everything you don't know. And anything you do you at the same time, you don't have to, I say learn everything, you don't have to still know everything before you do it. You can
because I put a lot of pressure on myself for that, because someone gave me advice, which was great advice, of like, learn everybody's role, learn what they do, like learn all the ins and outs and vocabulary of it.
Right.
And that will help you get ahead, which is very true. But I was like telling myself, oh my God, I'm horrible and I haven't gotten all this knowledge yet. So then I'm not worth it and blah, blah, blah. And that's not true.
And that's been the case for me. Okay, sets too. It's like, man, I might be working with, people who got so many years in the game and so much this, and I come on the set and they really ask me something and I'm looking crazy. But you realize again that if you have a good community, I mean, no matter what you're doing, somebody's always gonna be willing to, give direction or give a little bit more insight or give a little bit more knowledge. And so don't allow those things to stifle you as well. So
what would you give? So what advice would you give for approaching learning from others? Like when to do it, how to do it, like how do you approach questions where you don't feel like you're bothering someone?
I think the number one thing is to, don't feel like you're bothering somebody, because if you genuinely don't know, most people, human consensus, regardless of how the answer may kind of sometimes come out if you ask the question, is that people ultimately do feel that they would rather somebody ask than just, you know what I'm saying, regardless of what professional level you in, just dealing with people, you will always prefer somebody to ask versus just doing anything. So understand that too, even if they might not want the question at the time, understand that anybody would rather you ask than just do anything, especially if somebody calls them at work. Like if I don't know what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying, with a boom mic and I don't know how to turn it on and we've been recording for 45 minutes because I was too afraid to ask how to cut it on, then that's going to cause a whole lot more work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You feel me? Like,
and that's the thing, like if you're asking something that's like towards the work that you're working on, then ask it right then. But if they're like actively working on something and you're not asking a question to help them with that, then wait until there's a time. That's like the only thing that like you don't want to ask, like we're rolling and you want to ask like, well, how did you get here?
Right.
Like no.
So definitely knowing the timing of it, but definitely don't think that any
But
person,
don't hold back, like
because
even on lunch and stuff. I always felt like during lunch I'm like, I don't want to ask anybody about themselves and their careers because like they want to relax on lunch, and it's like, but then I'm just either chatting it up or silent, and that's not relaxing. They might be more relaxed if I just ask them the questions that I wanted to ask.
Because knowledge is necessary in anything you're doing. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. Like I've done it so many times too. Like if you're following people who do what you want to do, message those people, DM those people, because you'll be surprised how many of the people who actually want that or actually appreciate it. Like, oh my, like, you find value in what I do to ask me to give you, like, a lot of people really find value in that and be willing to share that information with you. So like I said, definitely reach out to the people who might be doing what you're doing and you don't know, or anytime, like say you're doing anything and you don't know. Like don't be afraid to ask, especially again if the knowledge in itself is of course going to benefit you, because you're not asking for no reason. You're asking because you generally don't know, and it may be something you need to know.
And people know that you want to know, so it's not like, unless you're coming with like a use them mentality and energy, then people know that you're not just trying to use them. For me, what's helped me actually take the step to ask and feel like I'm not bothering them, because I love people so much and I think about them all the time, but I don't always reach out. So that's what like has been my struggle, is like I don't want them to just think I'm using them or just hitting them up because I see that they have success in something or whatever, which like I am asking them about their successes, but what helps me is to like kind of word vomit about like, I really want you to know that I actually genuinely love you and I do really think about you, and I'm sorry for not reaching out, but I do also have a question for you, because I personally, I don't like the like, hey, how are you? How's your family? Just so you can ask me a question about something. Just get to the point. Just ask me the question.
And the way I do it too is like, it's again how I word the question too, because I
do want to know about people. I do want to know how they are. To me, if you ask that first when you're really here to ask another question, it doesn't feel as genuine.
I agree. That's how I feel too. I feel the same way. And so a lot of times it's like how I shape the question too, because it's like it's not about me feeling like I just want you to give it to me. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, I don't want you just, like I said, just like I said, just like I said
Yeah.
before, just give it
I
to me.
also really do want to catch up
but
too.
I really want to, at the same time, like make that understanding that listen, I'm here to really learn. Like I don't want you to just give it to me. I really genuinely want to know what your process was, what your struggles was, what's your, I'd rather take that than, even if I know you're in a position to put me in, like even if you're in a position to put me in that position, like right, then I'm gonna ask you about how you got there to get to the position versus just, hey, can you put me on?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I want to know so that, because
I always want to feel like I earned it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So. Okay, well, Mama has got to go to the bathroom, and we're at time anyways. I have to
do a part 2 of this because I feel like we really need to get to the line.
I know. We said a little bit about each other, and then we were like, boom. Let's go into tangents.
Yeah. I love that. I hope that in these tangents, it definitely allows you to learn more about us.
And I hope you get something from it.
About you and
I know. I learned stuff about you, a lot about you, actually. And I didn't realize that we hadn't really had a lot of these conversations.
Which you really have. We just be vibing so much. Listen, this is really how our conversations really be. Like, we be so much. Yeah.
But we'll always bring it back. We really do. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
Appreciate
fixing this.
Keep me right.
But yeah, so I mean, there'll obviously be many more episodes to come. Yes. So let us know if there's something that we kind of touched on you want to hear more about.
Absolutely. And we would love to do this again too. So honestly, same thing. You guys have questions you want to know from us.
Yeah, send your questions.
Anything, history, backing. What do we do? What do we do? Literally anything.
Yeah, and you can send them to our handles on, you can comment on YouTube, you can send us messages on Instagram, you can comment on Spotify and or leave a review, anything. So at TALKIN, TALKIN shit ATL. That's our handle for YouTube and for Instagram. And it's that handle plus at gmail.com. If you want to email us, please let us know. We want to hear from y'all.
Yes,
we really do.
Yes,
I know we say it all the time, but we really do. Because we appreciate you and thank you for being here. But we haven't heard much and we want to talk,
right,
y'all.
Absolutely, we really do. As you can see, we like to talk. We be ready. So
yeah, I'm gonna get out my wine voice the more you don't talk to us.
We changed that in 2024 though. 2024.
Yeah.
We definitely gonna be getting that engagement up. And so I think that, like I said, what we have planned and plan on doing, we definitely go get there. So we definitely thank you for listening. You know what I'm saying? You guys a little shy right now. It's okay. We gonna get y'all warmed up. We'll
build your confidence,
right, we
baby.
Gonna get y'all warmed up. Don't worry. Y'all be talking to us and we'll be able to stop it. We're gonna love it. So
I can't wait.
Oh man. So that's kind of what I got at the moment. So we'll do this again for sure. And next time, like I said, you guys let us know your questions, then we could, like I said, do an episode where we would definitely ask it, or we might even, we talk about doing some live things. So maybe even go live and ask your questions. So we might.
And I really want to do embarrassing stories from our. I literally I didn't tell you this or anything, but I really want to do embarrassing stories from our audience, and maybe we can share some embarrassing stories too. So send your embarrassing stories to us. Send what you want to talk about. Send what you got from this. Anything. Even if you just say hi.
Right. Hey,
we want to talk to you.
Right. Absolutely.
Because it'll also help us feel like we're talking to you and not to community that we don't communicate with. You know what I mean? So we want to talk to y'all.
Yes, we
want to learn about y'all. It's not just us talking at you. It's us talking shit with you.
Absolutely.
So thank you for joining today.
Thank you so much.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And welcome Mondays at 8. You'll find us Mondays 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes. So check us out. Continue to follow us. On our social media platforms, continue to listen to us weekly.
Download the episodes.
And we got
all of that helps us so much.
A great year ahead and planned. So so thank you again. And again, I have to say, we're gonna say it 1,000 times, probably continuously. Thank you, appreciate you. Because again, being this far, the episodes we done last year, I mean, I don't even think either of us saw us get like to this point. Really, you know, it's like always like, yo, we this many episodes in, we really, you know what I mean? So it's like it's really impressive, amazing.
Yeah, we have our second guest next week. So join next week. I won't go into everything we're going to talk about, but you are going to get some like health exercise tips to try to help you if you have any goals with your health and your body this year. We're going to try to help you attain them. And so join us next week.
Because we want you guys keep us accountable for our goals, and we'll do the best to help you guys be accountable for yours as well. And these be living testimonies, literally, as you know, say like
I was about to say, right. Cheers to you not seeing me drink again for a year.
So other people who want to continue to follow her in that pursuit, continue to watch the podcast, continue to follow her on own personal social media pages as well, and hopefully as well it'll be inspiration to you all too who may have been considering, you know, doing the same, and it might be a cross accountability thing. So you guys, you know, if you do have that resolution to, you know, go into sobriety as well, you know, listen, we celebrate you, we highlight you, so definitely let us know, comment, you know, as we go through the year, any video, anytime, you know, comment your days, you know. I'm 15 days in, I'm 16 days, I'm 30 days in. You know, we want to, you know, we want to see it so we can congratulate you too during, again, your journeys and goals as well. Or any other
and if you have tips for me, like getting through this, especially in social situations, like it's easy when I'm by myself, I'm fine. But if I go out to a club or blah, 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 like I'm going to want to. So getting through those moments, please let me know.
Yeah, right. Everything helps. So we definitely appreciate that. And like I said, again, that's going to be, again, the basis of our community. You know what I'm saying? We're here for you. You know, we want you all to be here for us, as you already been doing.
Make real friendships and real connections.
You know what I'm saying? That's the goal. That's the goal. All while, like I said, talking shit. So, so I mean, it did, yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, I said cheers, so we got cheers.
Cheers.
Or it's bad luck.
Absolutely.
Cheers. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Okay. Love you. Bye.